Well, good day, everyone. We are here in Yorba Linda, California at the historic Yorba Cemetery. And we're going to talk about this man, Bernardo Yorba. He was the original purchaser of all this land, more than 13,300 acres that later became Yorba Linda. If you don't know anything about Yorba Linda, it's the home of Richard Nixon, President Richard Nixon. His birthplace was here, his museum is here, and his burial is here in this city. But this is the man that originally purchased the land. He was a very wealthy land baron. He was the son of a Spanish soldier who, his father Jose, was granted land by I believe it was the King of Spain. This was long before the Mexican-American War. Now, Bernardo wasn't born in Spain. He was born here, and he himself was granted land. He was granted 13,300 plus acres in 1834 by the governor of Mexico. So this was when this was all Mexico territory. He named this land the Rancho San Juan Cajon of Santa Ana. His residence, which is not here, he called San Antonio Hacienda. There's a stone marker at the original site over on Esperanza Road and Echo Hill Lane. The house itself was demolished many, many decades ago. The house had over 100 rooms. They had probably well over 100 people living there. But that was his home. He had so much land, they say, that Bernardo could get on his horse and travel all day and all night and never leave his property. Wow. That's how much land he had. He had 3 wives. His first wife was 16-year-old Maria. She died after 5 years of marriage. She gave birth to 1 son and 3 daughters. He then married 15-year-old Felipa. He liked them young, which I don't think was illegal back then. She gave birth to 12 children, and then she died, and then he married a 3rd time to Andrea, who was 29 years younger than him, and she gave him 4 sons. So all in all, he had 20 children through 3 wives. He also had 13 brothers and sisters. So he's one of the early settlers in this area, long before it was even known as Orange County. This little cemetery here, I could pan around later and show it to you. It's got 400 burials and about 135 headstones. The reason why it's fenced off is because back in the 19th, early 20th centuries, there was a lot of vandalism going on, a lot of grave robbing. What do grave robbers look for? Well, they look for things of value. And so this has been put up. This place is only open 1 hour per month on the first Saturday of every month. Now, perhaps some of you may find it most interesting is that there's a ghost story associated with this cemetery. It's called the story of the Pink Lady. As the story goes, on June 15th, 1910, a young lady named Alvina de los Reyes, who was a descendant of the Yorba Linda family, in 1910, she was riding in a buggy and returning from a dance at Valencia High School when she was killed by an accident. So the myth says that this Pink Lady, once a year on June 15th, every other year, you can see her at nighttime rising and just showing her sorrow about having died so young. This was a story that took off especially in the 1940s. Probably invented by the locals here, possibly some teenagers that were looking for a good story. The problem with the story is it's totally false. Alvina was not a teenager when she died. She was 36 years old, and she was the mother of 8 children. And she didn't die in any buggy accident. She died in complications of childbirth, having given birth to her 8th child. Which goes to show you that We live in a world that thrives on excitement, it thrives on thrills, and so many of the time the stories we hear are not real. It's human nature to believe what you hear and repeat it instead of checking out the facts. And you can easily check out the facts of Alvina, the real story, just by looking at her gravestone, which is here. And it tells you the date of her death was months after June 15th. And she wasn't coming home from Valencia High School. Valencia High School itself wasn't even built until 23 years later. So, you know, this is what happens with some of these old stories, these old fables. Again, we live in a world that traffics in innuendo, and it is popular for stories, whether they're true or not. And that's just human nature. Doesn't need to be. But you know what? Let's check out the facts before we repeat anything. Anyway, this is the old Yorba Linda cemetery. It's very small, so let me pan around. It's all enclosed in this fence. So, thanks to Bernardo, this is the city now that was founded on his name. There's even a school or two here that's founded on his first name. So, interesting trip in Orange County history.